Welcome back, it's me, Lou. I'm here for another action figure unboxing and review, and today we are going to travel in the time machine and travel way back, maybe close to 10 years, as we review this. The Dark Knight Rises Batman from MAFEX, and this is figure number 002. Alright, so this figure came out, I think, maybe back in 2012 or 2013. It's a much older version of the MAFEX style of action figure. And I remember when I first bought this, I purchased this at my local comic book shop. I didn't even know what MAFEX was. I just remember that in my comic book shop, this was placed like on a shelf and it had a sign next to it saying new release. At the time, I think Mattel was making their line of Movie Masters, and they had their own Dark Knight Rises action figures. But then when I saw this, I'm like, wow, this looks awesome. For one, it looks a lot more articulated, a little bit a higher level of detail. I don't want to say it was more detailed, but the level of detail looked like slightly higher quality, and it came with the different accessories like the grapple gun and the additional hands and the cloth cape. And the package design looked really neat. And I'm like, oh, this is pretty cool. I didn't know what MAFEX was. This was, I think, prior to Figure Arts. I'm not sure if Figure Arts were out back then. But I grabbed this, and then I remember I put it in my pile with my comic books. And when I was at the checkout, I failed to check how much this thing was. And then it rang up like $39, which actually seems reasonable now, you know, considering what kind of action figure this is. But I remember back then I was like, man, that's a lot more than like a Mattel Batman figure that I could buy at Toys R Us. And then when I unboxed this, I was like just so pleasantly surprised. I thought this was like the coolest thing. As you can see here, it's a Medicom toy. It's distributed by I think Diamond Select. Yeah, Diamond Comic distributors. Diamond, I'm not sure if they still handle it now, because I know a lot of companies left, but Diamond used to handle comic book distribution for like ever. On the side of the box, you have a nice cool photo of the Batman figure. And on the back, it kind of shows you the figure put through its paces. Kind of gives you an idea of the posability and the accessories it comes with. So for me, this was such a cool, pleasant surprise. So this came out back, almost 10 years ago. So around then, I was mostly collecting like the DC Classics, some Marvel Legends, and this felt like a completely different quality of action figure. And here we go. So first impressions of the figure while it's in the tray. So keep in mind, I haven't actually looked at this toy like in ages. And actually, I think this is the receipt. Yeah, so this toy came out. I bought this on July 10th, 2013. So yeah, this is almost 10 years old. Beautiful looking figure. You can see it comes with different accessories. 3 extra hands, and I dropped the grapple gun. There's the grapple gun. I don't remember what this is in the movie. It's been forever since I've seen The Dark Knight Rises. If you remember what this is, write it down in the comments down below. And let's take a look at the figure. This is what we're here for. Alright, so we have the MAFEX number 2 Dark Knight Batman. The limbs... Alright, so I haven't handled this figure like in almost 10 years, so I don't remember the limbs feeling this loose. Wow, the arms just pop off. I'm not sure if that's just because due to over time. but it's kind of interesting. The body, let's look at him up close without the arms. So it's a softer. I'm not sure how the MAFEX stuff is nowadays because I haven't bought one in forever. But as you can see, it's almost like a dense rubber. And then the sock on the inside looks like it might be plastic. And you can just pop these in, these ball joints. Let's look at the sculpting up close. The sculpting is cleaner, I think, than the Mattel Movie Masters. The Movie Masters figures, I think, might be slightly larger, though. Let's take a look at the size of this guy real quick. This guy comes in at about 6 3/4 at the top of the horns. The sculpting is pretty clean, nice and sharp. I like the material for the cloth cape. It doesn't grab, like, so right now it's winter, so my skin's really dry. So sometimes some cloth materials will have a tendency to just latch onto my skin, especially when it's dry. But this one, that's not the case. It's really soft, really thin. I don't think it's see-through. Yeah, it's slightly see-through, but it's thick enough where, light doesn't go through it that bad. Nice detailing on the body armor, like around the abdomen, very detailed. Nice patterning on the chest. Now there's the utility belt. It's pretty clean. But man, the joints on my figure seem kind of loose. I'm not sure if it's just due to time, if the materials has kind of stretched itself or what. It's an interesting figure. Like I said, I haven't handled this in forever. And the arms keep on popping off, which is unfortunate. In terms of the articulation for this guy, his head rotates. Does he look down? Not really. Does he look up? Wow, it actually does look up. That's awesome. Arms rotate. They go outward. Is there a bicep cut? I'm not sure if there is a bicep cut. Oh yeah, there is a bicep cut. Bicep swivel. Looks like double pinned elbows, and they're pinless. So nice range of motion. Articulated wrists. This arm keeps on popping off. It's making me crazy. He swivels. There's a cut beneath the breast line, so he can swivel, rock around. I wonder if this is a ball joint. Will this pop off? Yeah, this pops off. This arm is so bothersome. I think I could easily remedy this by just putting a piece of paper inside of there, and it'll make the joints somewhat tighter. Swivel at the waist, kicks up about there. Doesn't want to focus. Kicks out. There is no thigh cut, but there is some upper thigh swivel, and there's even a drop down in the hip. Double pinned, pinless design knees, articulated wrist, articulated toes. So this friggin' arm keeps on popping off. So in some ways, this kind of feels very similar to a figure arts figure. And I think MAFEX has actually redone. They've actually done this. I think they redid this figure some years later. I think they I don't think it was a re-release. I think they actually just did a whole new take on this guy. He's a little skinny, in my opinion. I think he could be a little bit thicker, especially at the chest, and actually give him some lat muscles. But it's pretty decent, pretty fair. This is making me crazy. These arms just fall off so easily. That's so disappointing. I don't think that was the case when I first got the figure. Like I said, over 10 years, maybe the plastic just deteriorated or loosened up. I don't know. But it's such a beautiful figure, though. I mean, at a standstill. I just wish that I could move it and pose it without the arm constantly falling off. But yeah, I just wanted to share this with you. I was digging through some of my boxes the other day, and I came across this, and I'm like, this would be a fun figure to review. So it's pretty neat. Hope this was in focus. I wasn't really paying attention when I was shooting this video. All right, so let's wrap this one up. But before we do, is this something you need? Probably not, to be honest. If you do get, I think if you are interested in this design, I think a few years ago, MAFEX, like I said, revisited this character, and I think they did a second take on this guy. So if you can find a more recent version of this, go for it. But don't get this older one that's like almost 10 years old. It feels a little antiquated, and as you can see, my arms just keep on falling off. It doesn't take a whole lot to pop them off. So, all right, let's wrap this up. Once again, my name is Lou. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you're a returning viewer, subscriber, thank you so much for your continued support. I greatly appreciate it. So until the next video, be safe, take care of yourself, buy lots of toys, and most importantly, be happy. And I'll see you at the next one. All right, later.